Friday night football it is. Charlie Frederick Stadium at Winton Woods High School in Forest Park, Ohio. White Cross Community Media presents you this coverage of the Winton Woods Warriors hosting the Renaissance Christian Academy from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Rising Tide. Your old friends Jonathan Palmer and Jacob Williams with you. And Jacob, we don't know much about this Renaissance team. We know they're in their first year. We know they're athletic. We know they're small. They're all trying to learn to be on the same page. They've been on separate programs before. They're trying to get there.
Well, you know, JP, what I do know about this team, the Rising Tide, is that Winton Woods is proud to have a capable team like them flying to face them from the Keystone State, the home state of my youth. And as with any competition between these Ohio River cities, this static cling alone, if harnessed, could light up a village. This fall so far, as the two towns have split, so this game may serve as a tiebreaker, at least until the next time Coach Tomlin gets to display that Statue of Life stare against the Stripes.
It's a 5-hour drive they had down here. It's great they could come down. It'll be a good challenge for them. Their total school enrollment, male and female, total 50. First year, they're split off of an old church that had a school with it. The church divested itself of the school. Church was Petra International Ministries. They split. The director is Mr. Harvey Smith, grades 6 through 12. It's so they're going to have a challenge. They have hardly any facilities. They've got a few weights that are being donated from other schools. They just do a lot of running and things. It's going to be interesting to see how they put up against the toughness of Winton Woods.
Well, you know, JP, I'm not going to buy into this one-room schoolhouse portrayal you got of these guys. It's a long way to come here from Pennsylvania, and if they have enough heart, fortitude to make the trip up here, face these Warriors, and I see the Warriors, JP, in these uniforms that I haven't seen this year. They look nice on them.
I think they used them in week 2. They were blue, but they had gray numbers. They sent them back to get white numbers for visibility. Mind if I interrupt you to go through our referees real quick?
Not at all.
Real quick, officials. Referee is Mr. Bob Ketzer. Umpire, Mr. Steve Hazlitt. Linesman, Mr. Doug Johns. Line judge, Mr. Tom Mooring. And back judge, Mr. Larkin Banks. Winton Woods will be kicking off to Renaissance Christian.
Well, you know, Coach Muzzy Colosima, he was 143 and 46 in 41 years at Greensburg Central Catholic down in Pittsburgh. Now, the coach admits to problems getting all his guys on the same page with all the plans, this being everybody's first year, but this is the first kickoff of tonight's game.
Coyote DeBoyko gets a squib off, falling on at the 29-yard line. Renaissance Christian will start this game 1st and 10 on their own 39-yard line.
And speaking of Coyote DeBoyko, JP, and talking to Coach Gillespie, he indicated that DeBoyko would be back to do the kickoffs tonight, but the placement kicking will still be done by Mr. Lumpkin, who's done a fine job so far this year.
Coming into this game, Winton Woods has allowed an average of 3 or 9. They have given a total of 914 yards throughout the season to all of their opponents.
So the Rising Tide breaks the huddle up on the ball, and
Troy Simons, quarterback,
snap
of a high snap, keeps it right side up the middle,
twist around
and tackle on his feet to the midfield, still on his feet before being taken down by a host of Warriors at the 44-yard line.
Good north-south run by the quarterback, number 3. And number 3 for the Rising Tide, that being their quarterback, Troy Simmons, senior quarterback. Good yardage picked up by the visitors on the first play from scrimmage. You see the quarterback twist right out of that arm tackle by, of all people, David Long. I'm sure he'll more than make up for that before we get the triple zeros here, JP.
sir. 11:23 and counting remaining in this first period of play. Quarterback is under center. Give.
Turn to give, and Warrior defenders.
Taken down in the backfield by a host of Warriors. The give was to Mr. Darrell Dean. Taken down by a host of Warriors.
Warrior defenders penetrate deep into the backfield right off the get-go on that play, JP. It's like number 26 made that stop on that previous play. DJ Campbell, 5'8", 160-pound sophomore for the Warriors. Yeah, I definitely like these uniforms, JP.
Nice visible numbers for us.
It's like they're blitzing.
Bit of a high snap. Quarterback looks for something. Keeps under heavy pressure. Has a wall of Warriors to run into. Still picks up a few more yards, but still not to the original line of scrimmage. Driven out of bounds at the 46-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 11.
Looks like Troy Simmons, all kind of physical attributes with the ball, and he's going to be a problem to run down all night in this heat. Of course, now, still nice weather for this time in October, JP.
Yes, sir. So it's 3rd and 13, actually. Actually, I believe that should be 3rd and 12, looking at where the ball is. Line to gain is at the 34-yard line. Ball is spotted at the 46-yard line.
Okay,
Troy Simons under center, and we have some whistles before the play starts. Timeout by Renaissance Christian, taking their first of 3 timeouts with 10:33 left in the first. They're pushing it a little bit right now.
Hey, well, you know, this team, like I said, they come in here from Pittsburgh. I don't think they come in here to just lay down without giving a good account of themselves. And even though they don't have a huge roster, a huge fan base with them tonight, you know, you got to make sure these guys are dangerous, because as long as they got a bat in their hand, they're dangerous, like they say in baseball.
Absolutely. Band night tonight. We've got some of the middle school band members here playing with the high schoolers. We'll see that at halftime. It's always a fun night when it's band night in the Woods. So Mr. Simons will line up. Actually, new quarterback in. It is Kiev Southern. He'll be under center. Southern back to pass. Airs it out deep and just through the fingertips. One hand on it. Intended receiver number 8. That looks like, no, correction. Number 3, Troy Simons, now in the wide receiver slot.
Okay, so Troy Simons, somewhat of a slash, if you will. But that's going to have to bring the Rising Tide punting team out on the field. Looks like back to receive deep for the Warriors would be number 3, Cameron Barnes.
He's had some big runs back for. Troy Simons is doing triple duty now, being the punter.
Nice snap, kick, in over in, good kick.
Good kick. Takes a Christian Academy bounce and will be touched at about the 3-yard line. If they hadn't touched that, that would have been a touchback.
Yeah, but the plan is to touch it, which they did, and now we'll have to see if the Warrior offense can set up shop deep in their own territory to get this game started. Another thing about Coach Muzzy Colosima, he gives props to Coach Eric Parsegian for getting him started in the coaching. Received good inspiration from Mr. Parsegian at a seminar, and of course, we won't hold it from him being about Notre Dame. Hold it against him, excuse me.
Winton Woods starts on their own 3. Quarterback Shamar Hooks under center. Marcus Davis in the fullback.
Thinking it over. Might have an audible call. Give. No, the fake. Hooks runs around left in.
Hooks
and he's
left side. He's got room. He's got them all beat. One coming in from the cross with about a 5-yard separation. Hooks is taken out of bounds at the 42-yard line.
Jamar Hooks. That's what I'm talking about. Yabba dabba doo. Look at number 2. Let's see, he carried that ball, got good blocking right at the point of attack. Didn't waste any time, turn that ball upfield. Okay, so it'll be
Ball's on
first and 10.
First down and 10 to go, as you say, on the 42-yard line. Winton Woods in Renaissance Christian territory. Hooks in the pistol, give. No, he does
Hooks
not. He
keeps it
fakes the
again.
give. Hooks keeps it, picks up about 5 yards. He'll be spotted at the 36-yard line.
Good contact made by DeAndre Hanner, for the Rising Tide on that play.
Winton Woods had a very close game against Thurgood Marshall last week. Their second game of the season with over 200 yards in penalties. This is a game to work on the fundamentals.
Well, we'll see how we work on the fundamentals of this play as Hooks looks it over. Flags
down. On the play.
It's going to be against the Rising Tide.
Yep, looks like it's going to be offside, so it gives a first down to the Warriors. And the ball will be spotted on the Renaissance Christian 31-yard line. Hooks under center. Pitch to Lumpkin.
He's getting a block from Listerman around the corner to freeze him loose, and that's going to be good for a first down.
Christian Lumpkin on the carry, and he'll be down at the 17-yard line.
Christian Lumpkin is going to be in motion, getting that toss sweep, and looks like he's waving himself. Okay, he's going to stay in the game. Ball on the 17-yard line for the Warriors.
Hooks
gives
to Davis. Davis has room. He'll be taken down, though, at the 10-yard line. Pickup of about 6.
Davis, JP hits that hole fast. I mean, it's like right there. And the Warriors definitely, like you said earlier, the stuff about last week and other weeks, they got that stuff in the rearview mirror. That doesn't count toward this week's game, and looks like they're going to be stopped.
Big defensive stop there for Renaissance Christian. Loss of about 2 yards. Third down and about 5.
Well, here we see on the replay, Hooks under center. And he's got that straight give to Davis. And no, okay, that's the one for the loss. 3rd and 5 now.
Hooks still under center. Pitch out to
he gets the toss,
Jalen Lumpkin. He'll be clipped down for no gain, or a gain of a yard.
Of course, Jalen Lumpkin anxious to get on his pony and ride tonight. 24-carat running back that he is. Provides the Warriors good change of pace back. Speed, tenacity. It's like the Warriors got a where they're going to try this extra
4th and
point.
4. Try for a field goal.
Excuse me, a field goal.
Yep.
Jermaine Lunsford, and that kick was up and
kick is good.
Good.
So instead of trying to push for it and turn over, they'll get points. 7:37 left in the first quarter. Winton Woods up 3-0.
Good for the Warriors to score that field goal, get their place kicker early respect, if you will, so that he shows later on in the game. If you need to go to him, go to him. Don't consider it 4-down territory when you got my toes standing over here.
So we'll have Deboyku giving another kick. This time, again to Renaissance Christian.
Yeah, see, JP, the way it looks, it's going to have to be up to these Rising Tide ball players to come in here and make sure they don't end up auditioning for a role as the Washington Generals, if you will, from another sport to the Warriors. You know, they did an impressive job to stall that drive out and hold it to a field goal.
Yep. Troy Simons, Jacob Coles back deep to receive this kick. Deboyku's kick squibs again, takes a bounce. Will take a big hop and rolls out of bounds at the 14-yard line.
Yeah, that hop is going to push them back way back on defense as the chain gang matriculates to set up down just past the 10-yard line.
All spotted on the 13-yard line. Renaissance Christian starting deep in their own territory. Their defense holding Winton Woods pretty well early, but we know how Winton Woods' offense can run you down.
That's correct. And I'm sure that they don't have any plans of this rising tide to come in here and sink their ship.
I formation for Renaissance Christian. Back to pass. Caught.
That fade pattern kind of pass, and, you know, this guy's getting a couple steps on that Warrior defender on that pattern consistently.
So Troy Simons on the catch, just inbounds. Gets the first down. Ball will be spotted on the 30-yard line. Of course, Renaissance Christian, having seen none of their opponents before. For real, they may have seen a little bit of film here and there. They're going to have to be changing their game plan minute by minute.
Well, like you said, this is their first year as a school in existence. Here we go.
Southern airs it out again. Falls incomplete. And a flag at the line of scrimmage.
The way that flag was thrown, it'll probably go against Renaissance Christian.
Referee talking with Mr. Daniel Cage, see if he wants to accept it or decline it.
And they say
false start on Renaissance Christian. Repeat first down.
Push him back. That's right.
5-yard penalty. Puts the ball on the 25-yard line. 1st and 15. 7:08 left in the first quarter.
Of course, later on this evening as the night progresses, JP, I'm sure you'll ask your computer to tell us some scores of these other games.
We'll see what we can do. Give Southern under center. Give up the middle, stuffed at the Winton Woods offensive line. Looks like that was Darrell Dean on the carry.
Dean sticking his nose in there. You know, not very big guy. Number 21. Oh, that's
excuse me, number
Sam
21, Sam McGraw.
You know, that little Sam McGraw looks like he could score through a little hole if you open one up for him, just enough crease to get through there. High formation backfield behind Simmons.
Back to pass, caught again by Troy Simons. Simons taken down after about a 7-yard gain. It'll bring up 2nd and about 3.
Okay, so it looks like they're going to make this a permanent switch and keep Kiev Southern in at quarterback and switch Troy Simons out to wide receiver.
So it's 3rd and 3 now. Ball on the Renaissance Christian 37-yard line. 40-yard line is the line to gain. Faced up against the 4-3 Winton Woods defense.
Looks like they're coming. Get back, Barnes.
And flags.
Ooh. Mr. Cameron Barnes trying to anticipate that snap count. A la Troy Polamalu. Oh, I can't swear at the fans this early in the game.
So it gives Renaissance Christian a first down. Still in their own territory, on their own 42, 5:43 and counting left in the first.
That there penalty, which is, I believe, their first penalty of the night, isn't it, JP? But a penalty
back to pass again. Target Troy Simons. Broken up. Incomplete.
Yeah, it looks like the Rising Tide likes that pattern. They like their chances with number 3 going against those secondary specialists on Winton Woods. And this guy's fairly accurate dropping that ball in there, JP. You know, at some point, it might be incumbent on the Warrior defense. We got
nearly picked off by number 7 for Winton Woods, Chaz Lumpkin.
And number 9, Jarrell Foster, helping out on the play.
Yep. Flags.
This
Would be a preliminary indication of illegal procedure. Back up 5.
Looks like the Warriors were coming at him with another blitz. Number 34, Kwame Watson, trying to streak through in there.
Winton Woods 5-0. They have a big challenge the next 3 weeks. Loveland, Elder, and Anderson. They'll be running the gauntlet in weeks 7, 8, and 9.
Well, you know, that's the schedule put out before them, and they'll, I'm sure, rise
Pass.
up to whatever occasion.
Nearly picked off.
Is
Will
caught.
that be a catch by number 27? 27, Jacob Coles. It is called a catch.
We see the ball was tipped by the Warrior defender, but Coles with the concentration to haul it in.
Tipped by DJ Campbell.
DJ Campbell, sophomore, getting some action in the game tonight.
So Kiev Southern again under center. I formation remains for Renaissance Christian. Southern pass is complete to Troy Simons. Simons picks up the first down and brought down at the 29-yard line. What is the Winton Woods defense going to have to do to stop them getting these yardage?
Of course, now it looks like we've got number 3, Troy Simons going out the game with holding his belly button a little bit there. But what Winton Woods defense is going to have to do is they're going to have to come and get this guy. You know, they tried it before and got flagged on the penalty, but they're going to have to time it a little bit, because if they don't get this guy, you can see that he's got enough poise to throw a respectable ball down the field, catchable by his man.
Keeper up the middle, stopped at the massive Winton Woods defensive line. May get a half a yard out of it.
That's right, the massive Winton Woods defensive line comes in this ball game tonight, always giving a good account of themselves, always helping the team. Actually, it's almost like penalty killers in hockey. Yeah, I know you refer to these penalties that they get, but the defensive line, in a way, in essence, kills off these penalties with their hard-nosed play on defense.
3:47 and counting. Lots of on the ground, keeps that clock running a little bit. Southern again, under center. Back. Keeps it, rolls right, looks, pass, falls incomplete.
Little bit low, little bit low.
Intended receiver, number 9.
Good play for the Winton Woods, the Warrior. Winton Woods Warrior to keep heat on this quarterback. Right there in his face. Don't let him have that wide open look, because he will get that ball up a little bit for completion next time.
Previous play, intended receiver, number 9, John McDowell Horner.
3rd and 9.
3rd and 9, clock stopped with 3:34 left.
Of course, they know they're facing 4-down territory from here on.
Timeout, Renaissance Christian, their second. 1 left with 3:34 left in the period.
Winton Woods, a hydration specialist, coming out on the field. See to it that their guys are watered down. A night like this, of course, the flag just sitting there motionless in the south end zone. Nothing to stir this air around.
Coach Andre Parker out in the huddle. On game days, you know, we go down, talk to the coaches. You always notice Parker's kind of quiet man, ponderous man.
Well, one of the reasons is his way of kind of like similar to Al Davis, just win. And if these guys win, you know, I guess he can, in a way, overlook some of these penalties as collateral damage.
It'll be interesting to see that game next week against Loveland. That will be perhaps the most critical game in Southwest Ohio during the regular season across all 7 divisions.
Well, we'll have to see. You know, I'm going with the Warriors in that game, JP.
It's homecoming night, so you know they'll be playing well.
Back
to pass again.
Right.
Deflected,
nice defense.
broken up by number 34, Kwame Watson.
Kwame Watson, excuse me. So it looks like Rising Tide is going to have to face a 4th and 9 on this play. It's either face 4th and 9 or Sinister out here looking at a 45-foot howitzer shot with his toe.
45-yard, you mean?
45 yards.
45 feet, oh my God. Even I could make that one. I shouldn't say that.
That's right, JP.
Going for it, looks like. Or this could be a pooch kick. Back to pass.
Pressure in his
Under
face.
heavy pressure, and that ball will fall incomplete. He let it go just as he was grabbed.
Number 8, David Long, spinning his wheels, trying to catch up to that ball to make the pick on the play, but drops harmlessly to the ground, and the Warrior offense will proudly take over.
So Winton Woods holding Renaissance Christian to a 3-and-out and forcing a turnover on downs.
But
Renaissance has gotten yardage on their drives, but they haven't finished.
The Renaissance Christian definitely had a decent drive going there for a while.
Smart hooks under center. Marcus Davis in the fullback. Gives to Davis. Davis has room right side. He'll pick up about 5 yards down to the 33-yard line.
Nice tackle on the play. Number 10, and Arrington Johns by the Rising Tide holds on to Marcus Davis' ankle and won't let go. Looks like we got number 1, Javonte Wright in the game for the Warriors.
2nd and 5. Up the middle. Marcus Davis picks up just shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and about half a yard. Coming into this game, Marcus Davis had 816 yards on the ground over 96 carries.
I'm sure he wants to come back with a big game tonight. Last week against Thurgood Marshall, they kind of had his number, had him caged in some. But, I mean, don't get me wrong, he still had a workman game of near 100 yards rushing. But tonight, he certainly would like to see himself go over the century mark plus.
Warriors get the first down. Ball spotted on their own 40-yard line. I've heard people comparing Mr. Davis to such Winton Woods legends as Aaron Kemper, Jose Simpson. Looks back to pass. Under pressure. Rolls left. He's got some room. He'll get about 7 yards. Ball is loose and recovered by Renaissance Christian. Renaissance Christian will take over 1st and 10. That was picked up by number 2, Kiev Southern.
Kiev Southern playing both ways, as are, I'm sure, quite a few of these Rising Tide players. Shamar Hooks runs away from pressure, takes it, tucks it to run upfield, but it's carried away from his body, and the guy puts the helmet right on the ball. Nobody else in the vicinity to pick it up for the Warriors, so they'll send their defense back out on the field.
Winton Woods up 3-zip, 2:07 left. Renaissance Christian on the fumble recovery. It'll be 1st and 10 on their own 45-yard line, their best starting field position of the game. They've been held to a 3-and-out and a turnover on downs. Kiev Southern will be under center.
It's like Cameron Barnes is going to be one-on-one over here on the top outside with this guy.
Yep, flag.
Whistle call blown.
Looks like it'll be a false start on Renaissance Christian.
My guess is Renaissance Christian, JP, would like to exploit that passing game some more. They've had success to some degree with it, going wide to the far side of the field.
So a 5-yard penalty on Renaissance Christian. 1st and 15 now on their own 40-yard line.
Okay. Here they come again, number 14.
Southern back to pass.
Steps out of that tackle.
Misses a tackle. Pass is complete to Devon Lewis.
Fumble.
Devon Lewis, ball loose on the ground. Picked up by Winton Woods. Winton Woods has one to beat. He's on his own. It's number 9 for Winton Woods. And that'll be a touchdown for Jarrell Foster.
That's right, JP. I'm telling you, that ball rolled loose on the ground. Jarrell Foster scooped it up out there, and by the time the Rising Tide figured out what was going on, he was standing on the corner of 145th Street, 7th Avenue. Look at that. Nice play to get away from pressure and complete the pass.
That ball was just stripped out almost.
Yeah, and that ball, room service hop right into his arm. He skips around one tackle, makes a shifty move to avoid the tackle there. And
actually, it looks like this may have been called back. Everyone's... Officials timeout. Officials discussing everything. I'm guessing they're discussing whether or not he was down before the ball came loose.
They're saying there's a personal foul of some sort.
Oh, a personal foul actually on there.
So it looks like they're going to keep the ball. The Rising Tide is going to keep the ball. Warrior defense still on the field. Well, that was nice in zone eye candy on that play. Unfortunately, it didn't hold up.
It's going back to 1st and 15, it looks like. It looks like they're doing a replay of that.
Okay, what are they saying? So if this is going against the Rising Tide, it must have happened before the fumble somehow.
Not sure what the end call was. I was looking at other notes and such.
Kiev Southern under center, turn,
give
second man
some room.
War defenders, they're waiting, number 21. Demetrius Sewsbury on the stop along with others.
Ball carrier was number 21, Sam McGraw for Renaissance Christian. Picked up 2 yards, 2nd and 13.
Rising Tide sending some other players into the huddle.
High formation.
1:14 left to go in the quarter.
Minute 10 now. Clock runs. Back to pass. Keeps it. Taken down big time by a host of Warriors. Looked like David Long on that also.
That's the pressure that they're going to have to keep on this guy. No room for him to set up and feel comfortable. Adrian Rankin in there.
Yep.
Cousins, Adrian Rankin and Daniel Cage. Cousins meeting at the quarterback.
So a big loss. 3rd and about 20, or excuse me, 3rd and about 17. 3rd and 18 actually. Ball's on the 37-yard line.
What will the Rising Tide do? Will they try to get it all, or will they just try to make up some of this
Airmail down,
just like
overthrown.
Thank goodness.
Intended for Mr. McGraw.
That was a pretty good hand fight they had going on there for a while. Luckily, the officials thought nothing of it.
Correction, that was number 27, Jacob Coles on that.
So that's a 4th and 19 punting situation for the Rising Tide.
Cameron Barnes back deep to receive the punt.
Nice kick.
Kick is off. Both good punts. Barnes picks it up on the 29-yard line. He
got
has
David
room
Sparks
on the sideline,
nice
and he'll be taken down at the 40-yard line.
Nice
so
return.
Good 31-yard return.
See this replay, JP. Looked like number 11, David Sparks, inserted himself into a nice block and set him free. Of course, Barnes had a big return against Thurgood Marshall last week. And there's Sparks right there clearing the way for him.
So ball spotted on the 40-yard line. 1st and 10, Winton Woods. 10.1 seconds left in the first quarter. Referees checking a little bit of equipment before they blow the ball set. Ball is set. Shamar Hooks under center.
Marcus Davis.
Looks like they're back flags.
I'll tell you, it looks like on that play, the defense of the Rising Tide was waiting for Marcus Davis. Had wraps right around him as he hit the hole, or what was there. Down to 9.1 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
Well, if it was a dead ball, no time should have run off the clock. Hope it won't split hairs on that. Give.
Fakes to
Fake.
give. Hooks keeps
Davis,
it.
or excuse me, Hooks keeps it. He's got room on the right, but he'll be driven out of bounds. Clock stops with 1 second left. Hooks is down for the first down at the 25-yard line.
It looks like number 9 on the tackle, John McDonald Horner. Strong safety. You got a Warrior down.
And we do have a player down.
the middle of the field, it looks
Number
like
62, Darius Thomas.
They
Looks
need
like
that.
maybe cramping. They're working in the leg area. While we wait for this, while we see what's going on with this. So we've seen a little bit of Renaissance Christian. What do we think of them?
I think they're a respectable team. I mean, I don't know what their record is or who they've
They're
played.
1-3.
1-3 record, but they come in here, and just like I thought, you wouldn't drive all the way from Pittsburgh not to give a good account of yourself once you got here. Small squad in numbers, you know, but everyone seems like they're hustling hard, working, giving the coach everything they got. Warriors definitely, and they don't need to just show up any week anyway, but they see that they're definitely in a match, and they're not going to be able to just let these guys hang around. 3-0 score. They got to do better than that.
Don't forget, if you'd like to get involved with the activities of Waycross, we could always use your help. A volunteer organization, as Mr. Thomas gets up. You can give us a call at 825-2429. You can check us out online, www.waycross.tv. That looks like more than just a cramp. He's being helped off, hopping on one foot, not putting any pressure on the left leg.
Yeah, that doesn't look like a cramp, but we'll have to see.
Well, hope for him to be all right. When you're coming into the meat of your schedule, you definitely don't want anyone injured. I believe Perez Curtis is out this week with an injury. I did not press for information on that.
Well, Perez Curtis, from the information I was able to pick up this week, he got scoped. Dr. Tim Krimchek scoped him a few days ago. I believe it was related to his meniscus, which is the lesser of the evils concerning your knee situation.
Yeah. 1 second left. Hooks under center. Give to David. No, Hooks keeps it again. Right side. He's got some room, but he'll be taken down.
By a
flag.
horse collar tackle. That is the first period, the first quarter.
It's a defensive penalty, though, if it's a horse collar. Horse collar on defense, and I believe you cannot end on a defensive penalty, Jacob.
Well, that's fine with me. Just as long as they mark this distance off. Looks like I see big number 75, Daniel Cage, coming into the game. We're getting the diesel 18-wheeler package in there now.
Yep, there's called a horse collar.
Of course, the way Shamar Hooks runs around there so fast, you reach out, that's about the only thing there to get.
That'll be the end of the period, actually. It's not halftime yet. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Oh, that's right. The referees are waving their hands. Everyone's going towards the sideline. They should have the untimed down here. Everyone was retreating to the sideline, and the referees were waving in a way that indicated to me that they may have. So we'll have one untimed down. Ball is spotted on the 7-yard line. Daniel Cage out there. Bit of a power back position.
Yeah, I believe Cage got himself a touchdown in that game last week.
Mason,
Marshall.
too. He got one in the Mason game. Give is to Marcus Davis. Marcus Davis on his feet, but he'll be stopped short.
And that
will end the first period. After all that waffling about, Winton Woods will have a second and goal from the 5-yard line to start the second period. It's the Renaissance Christian Academy Rising Tide 0, Winton Woods Warriors 3.
So the teams are matriculating down the other end of the field. Again, these Rising Tide, they come in here giving a good account of themselves, good respectability. But it's up to the Warrior offense to turn this Rising Tide defense into a wax museum defense. Splash some hot grease on them, and they'll float right away.
The entire south section of the southernmost section of the grandstand full of the Winton Woods High School marching band, as well as middle school and 6th grade
Looks like
band
we got
members.
good attendance by the Warrior Nation tonight. The band is promoting all the activity. The cheerleaders are in sync, the crowd and everything. We got this ball on the
Hooks
5-yard line.
give to Jalen Lumpkin. Jalen Lumpkin picks up about 3 yards down to the 2-yard line. 3rd and goal.
Of course, it's like the Warriors, looks like they're going to keep different people handling the ball so they can't key in on Mr. Marcus Davis. 3rd and 2.
Hooks gives to Davis. Davis is stopped for a loss.
Whoa.
4th and goal.
Big Daniel Cage went through that hole in front of him, but a defender was able to slice in behind Cage and make the stop. We're being told that this would be a 22-yard field goal attempt, but it looks like they're going to call it 4-down territory, and I'm guessing that it probably may have something to do with Marcus Hooks keeping the ball as long as he can to figure out what's going to happen next.
Schmar Hooks pitch to Christian Lumpkin. Lumpkin tries to run the bend. Touchdown.
And he touches it down, turns that corner nice. Again, like I said in the 7th and 8th grade game the other day, Winton Woods Warriors always have good perimeter blocking. These receivers are taught to protect these guys when they're coming around that edge. So he springs them loose. That puts the Warriors up 9-0 right now. We got the first quarter stats that JP is about to tell you.
Yeah, let's get to this point after first, if we might. See if Winton Woods can get this. All set. Kick is up. And it's good. Winton Woods up 10-0.
10:51 left to go in the half.
Quick look at first half stats. First downs, Renaissance Christian with 5 of them. Winton Woods with 7. Winton Woods, 13 carries for 144 yards. 7 carries for 23 yards for Renaissance Christian. Renaissance Christian has gotten 61 yards over 4 catches, 10 attempts. No passing attempts for Winton Woods. Total offensive plays, 13 for Winton Woods for 144 yards, 17 for Renaissance Christian Academy for a total of 84 yards. Winton Woods, 2 penalties for 10 yards. Renaissance Christian, 5 for 23. First quarter time of possession, 7:51 for Renaissance Christian, 4:09 for Winton Woods. Renaissance Christian, 0 from 3 and 0 from 1 on 3rd and 4th down conversions, respectively. Winton Woods, 1 of 2 on 3rd down conversions. No 4th down conversion attempts. Winton Woods, 1 for 2 on red zone scores. Now they're 2 for 3 after that touchdown. Squib kick picked up right at the front of the receiving team. That looked like number 8.
Keith Wells.
Of Keith Wells. Yes, you're correct. Keith Wells, number 6. So Renaissance Christian will take over 1st and 10 on their own 44-yard line.
Yeah, well, you know, Winton Woods didn't control the clock, but they controlled the scoreboard. So all in all, I'll take it for the end of the first quarter. It certainly looks a lot better than that field goal up there. It's like we got number 44 split wide.
Back to pass, Southern. That is caught. That'll be just around the 1st down marker. 42 on the ball carry. Number 42, Tyreek Wolford.
Freshman Tyreek Wolford. Of course, this being a first-year program, I'm sure they're employing the all-hands-on-deck principle. A lot of Warrior hats waiting for him there, and they corral him.
Pass good enough for a 1st down. 1st and 10, 10:26 and counting left. All on the 46-yard line in Winton Woods territory. Southern looks to pass. Is sacked for a loss of about a yard. So Kiev Southern looks and is snookered.
Number 12, Aaron Smith, 5'8", 225 in on the stop. Looks like we see number 62, Darius Thomas, trying to loosen up his stiff ankle or leg from that injury, like he wants to get back into action. Of course, watchful eye of Adam Shiplet. He's not going to get back in unless Adam says he is at this point.
So 9:40 and counting left.
Power
Second
eye
and
backfield.
11. Southern back to pass. Taken down after. Overthrown. Incomplete. Intended receiver number 27, Jacob Coles.
See, the Warrior defense, they can afford to have this guy throwing this pass all night as long as they got coverage by their safety. But if this guy lets the guy get behind him by a couple steps, and that guy's throwing that pass, he's going to drop it in on him a couple times.
So it's going to be 3rd and 11, ball spotted on the 47-yard line of Winton Woods.
Of course, we don't have heights and weights for the Rising Tide. But we got this big number 75, Brandon Murphy, a sophomore. I don't know what his numbers are, but he's huge.
Kiev Southern back to pass, aired out. Broken
right
up.
to his arm. Good defense by the Warriors, just enough to throw his concentration off where that ball goes
Intended
right
for
to his
Troy
arm.
Simons again.
Brings it to 4th and 11.
Hands teams coming on the field. So 4th and 11.
Well, you think, JP, by this being bad night up here in Warrior Nation, that we'll see the suicide trombones tonight?
I don't know.
We're going to have to find out about that.
Punt. That is off. High arc on it. Cameron Barnes will pick it up on the 16-yard line.
His first 2 guys missed, but then he's gotten a hold.
Picks up about 10 yards on the return. Winton Woods will take over 1st and 10 on their own 26-yard line.
That's respectable execution on that play, JP, considering that was a decent punt. And he was still able to make positive yardage on the return, making a few guys miss. You see, again, the trainer, Adam Shiplet, over here on the sideline with Darius Thomas. And Thomas is still, looks like he's about to sit back down on this. So, looks like he's not going to be going in there yet.
Up the middle. Ball was loose on the ground. It was probably a bad snap.
Quarterback.
And it's a turnover on fumble, it looks like.
Good sense by the quarterback to pick it up and run for what he could get. Not standing back there scared and confused about it.
So Renaissance Christian in great field position. They get a couple of those passes they had earlier. They could be into the land of the 6.
Well, that's something that still yet to be decided by the Warrior defense. I'm sure the Warrior defense sees a possibility of maybe pitching a shutout tonight to go with their other laurels from this season.
Renaissance Christian takes their final timeout of the half with 9:16 to go. Coach Muzzy Colosimo using the timeouts early to try and make the adjustments that he needs.
Coach Colosimo, that almost sounds similar to BJ Carlissimo in another sport. No, PJ, I'm sorry.
So Winton Woods with all 3 timeouts left. Renaissance with none. Band playing a nice little tune here. That Warrior Nation bringing out a good crowd. Got a fair number traveling out for Renaissance Christian, that 5-hour drive from the Steel City.
It's always good to see Warrior Nation. It's always good to see Warrior Nation here in numbers supporting their team that's well worthy of their support.
And Troy Simmons now in the pistol. Simmons keeps it, runs up the middle, picks up a few yards.
A couple tackles in there.
Breaks a couple tackles, but will be down by contact. Gets forward progress to the 24-yard line.
Okay, so I see now where The trainer, Adam Shiplett's wrapping a bag of ice around the ankle of Darius Thomas. So looks like they'll have to use someone else in there. A couple of his players were over there talking to him a few minutes ago, trying to give him encouragement. Don't worry, we'll take care of business for you from here.
Second and 6, excuse me, with 8.5 left to go in the half for Renaissance Christian. Simons keeps it, looks, thinks better of it. On his feet, points towards the end zone. He got the block he needs. He's in. Touchdown, Renaissance Christian. Troy Simons on a 24-yard carry.
Nice action by him. He receives, gets a snap, rolls to his left, gets a block, get him sprung, get him started. He raises that ball up enough to make him respect it. Thought he may throw it, directs his traffic on a block, and then he says, north and south, baby. And there he goes into the north end zone of Frederick Field.
So it's 10-6 right now. We'll see how their kicking game is for Renaissance Christian. Or might they try for 2?
Looks like they're going to be going for 2 here.
So a try for 2.
Troy Simons back there in the pistol.
Bad snap. Ball is loose. Rolls on the floor. Simons falls on it. Conversion fails.
Right. That's what the Ward defense needed to see to it, that no more points scored off that. And now they'll have to take over on offense, put the pedal to the metal.
Well, there goes the shutout you were asking for.
Well, they got that touchdown again. These guys come in from Pennsylvania. They're from Pittsburgh. You know, there's a certain thing. You don't travel and not give good account of yourself. You know.
There you see the beautiful home stand here at Frederick Stadium on the campus of Winton Woods High School, Forest Park, Ohio. Would like to say hello to our Mr. Director in the truck, Mr. Jason Dudley, a recent alum of Winton Woods.
2 years is recent, buddy.
2 years is recent, Mr. Dudley. Hey, Dudley, you know what that makes you now that you said you're 2 years removed? That makes you old. And we won't say what it makes me since I graduated even years ago.
We told you how you got made a couple weeks ago, JP. We're not letting this guy throw no bad stuff on you.
There we go.
Okay, so the Rising Tide about to step off into it.
Cameron Barnes back to receive. That's a short kick.
Picked up
Rolls
by
picked
Lumpkin.
up at the 23-yard line. Christian Lumpkin has it. He's got a touchdown return or kickoff return before. He won't get it this time. Up to the 33-yard line.
Number 21, Sam McGraw, senior for the Rising Tide, making a stop on that.
We know Christian Lumpkin can be explosive when he's got the ball in his hands.
Oh, that's right.
Think back, Basin game. If you're Winton Woods, how do you want to start the second half? Oh, I don't know. How about a 79-yard kickoff return by Mr. Christian Lumpkin?
Well, in this case, it's how do you want it in the second quarter here with 8:13 left to go. They could have a clock-eating drive and work it down the field.
Shamar Hooks under center, Marcus Davis in the fullback.
Lumpkin in motion. Davis gets
it.
Give.
Davis left side. He bounces off a tackle, tries to dive forward. He'll pick up more yards. He gets about 5 extra yards after first contact, pulling everyone with him.
Lionel McConnell out there on the perimeter, trying to spring him loose at that block, but unfortunately didn't have enough extension to get this guy plowed completely out the way for MD.
Hooks calls out. Give to Davis. Davis rolls forward. Ball loose on the ground again.
Rising Tide or Rising Tide.
And it is recovered again by Renaissance Christian. So 2 turnovers. What has been the big issue that Winton Woods has had over the last years that's killed them a lot? It's this big thing here called turnovers.
Well, it looks like, to these guys' credit, Somebody's been studying game film on Marcus Davis. Last week in that game against Thurgood Marshall, their front seven played a very good game against him like they had him scouted. And other than a few big runs tonight, this Rising Tide looks like they got defenders ready to step up and fill the gaps that he's used to running through. But don't worry, I'm sure they'll find a clue. Don't forget the Warriors haven't thrown the ball yet tonight. And I know they got a pass or three up their sleeve.
Troy Simons back, flags on the play.
Sparks.
Pass falls incomplete. And we'll see what the penalty is.
Running him down, makes him throw that ball away.
It's a false start on Renaissance Christian. So they'll be backed up 5 yards.
The main thing about the Warriors, JP, you don't want to get too sleepless in Seattle about them because they're going to come back. I mean, this is their home field, Frederick Field. They honored Charlie Frederick the last time we were here.
Yes, the Hall of Fame.
And coming into this stadium, understanding the full implication of the weight of hurt he was putting down on competitors and opponents over the years, that's been transferred to these players. All primetime players out there for the Warriors.
Absolutely. So Troy Simons back in the pistol. Flag.
Ball
Delay
square
of
on
game.
the 50-yard line.
I was down with the coaches earlier when the refs talked to him. I heard the back judge explain how he was going to signal. He'd hold up the 5, and he'd count them down. 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're the quarterback, you got to be looking at your situation, but the situation includes the back judge.
Okay.
So it's 1st and 20. Simon.
Pressure.
Pass. That is incomplete. Big deep pass. Intended for number 27, Jacob Coles.
Cameron Barnes, number 3, comes over there as a free safety, covered a lot of that ground, closed a lot of that ground. Demetrius Sewsbury would have been the one had to make the saving stop if it would have become necessary. 7:18 left to go in the half here. War Nation.
7:18 left. 2nd and 20 for Renaissance Christian. Renaissance Christian has been putting it to Winton Woods right now. Short pass falls incomplete.
So that's going to bring it to a 3rd and 20. I don't know what their playbook consists of for a 3rd and 20 situation, but we're about to find out. This is where if you're the Warrior defense, especially in secondary, got to keep everything in front of you. Don't get caught looking in the backfield, trying to bite on some fake gives. It looks like they're going to probably try to get the pressure with 3 men.
The house is loaded. Trips right for Renaissance Christian. Pass
Nice
near
throw.
side.
Caught
By Troy Simons. Touchdown Renaissance Christian. Renaissance Christian up.
No flags on the play.
Up 12-10 right now.
And you see that pass straight back. He's looking all the way. He doesn't even look. He's looking at the sky the whole time. And he runs right past the Warrior defender, number 9, Terrell Foster.
So up 12-10 over Winton Woods. Renaissance Christian, they have come to play. Give them credit where it's due.
That's what I've been giving them since we flipped this thing off tonight.
They're going to try for another conversion to try and make good.
Yeah, they need this conversion to get that field goal separation at least between them. Here he goes looking to pass.
Pass complete.
That ball's caught.
Same formula, same result. Troy Simons, give him credit for every point that's on the board.
Again, we see he's back there on that ball, crossing pattern, right over the middle. So we'll have to see with 6:59 left to go in the half, JP. Does the Rising Tide want to roll the dice with an onside kick here while they got their foot near the throat of the Warriors?
Winton Woods will start the second half with possession.
But there's still 7 minutes left to go in this half, and something needs to happen. Of course, like the Warriors haven't attempted a pass tonight, and they may have to come out of their playbook with 1 or 2 now.
Lionel McConnell and Cameron Barnes back to receive.
That has the Warrior Nation over here getting a little bit quiet, JP. We haven't heard the crickets chirping in here all season, but you got to do something on here to give their fans a voice to help get them behind them again.
Kick again, Christian Lumpkin. Lumpkin
North
cuts
and
right,
south
cuts
run.
right, moves right, stays on his feet. After first contact, fouls for another 5 yards. Big return, Christian Lumpkin, up to the 45-yard line.
Artful run, good vision, and also good to hold on to that ball because he had tacklers coming in from his blind side.
Kevin Jeter on the kick.
Nice blocking thrown there. You know, and then when he gets up in this mess of guys, and there's guys coming in from the blind side, that's where you get that fumble watch. Well,
There you see
on the
Andre Parker.
46-yard line.
Smart hooks under center. Give
Marcus
to Davis. Davis picks up 5 yards on the way down. Picks up about 7 overall.
That looks like a plan to me. Is just keep feeding Marcus Davis that ball for a while. Take some of the steam out of this rising tide defense. Running his time off this clock at
Davis
the same time.
again gets the first down.
Nice carry by Davis.
Pick up about 5 down at the 42-yard line.
And on that play, Davis ran over Kiev Southern, which I'm sure will give him things to think about.
Winwood's playing a little hurry up right now. Give again to Davis. Davis left side, picks up 3. Down to the 39.
Nice tackle applied by Arrington Johns, number 10 for the Rising Tide. Pick up a 3, bring it to 2nd and 7. But those are punishing runs. These guys are tackling Davis, but they're getting punished, and that's going to add up.
Pitch to Christian Lumpkin. Lumpkin has room, gets the block he needs. Lumpkin to the 15, 10, 5. Christian Lumpkin in.
Number 5, Christian Lumpkin, electric slide for the Warriors. Coming back from that 12-10 deficit, now scores 14 and scores 16-14 now. The Warriors up by 2. Lumpkin just outrunning any possible tackle. And really,
that last defender was pretty well matched on speed, you have to say.
What softened a lot of that up, JP, was those hard runs by Davis in between the tackles.
The kick is up, and it is no good.
No good. 16-14. This game has a lot of ebb and flow, JP.
Maybe it took Renaissance Christian getting the lead to wake up the Winton Woods Beast.
Wow.
I think that's something that a lot of people have admitted. Not maybe the team per se, but some of the pundits, some of the people who talk about things on the internet. The offense kind of starts a little slow sometimes.
Well, it just seems like they're starting slow, and all it is the other team is still fresh.
That's true.
It's this attrition factor that your coaches talk about, and what you saw there was attrition. He pounded that ball inside with MD, and then once he goes wide, these guys got to respect the inside look, and, you know, a man has all kind of room out there, all kind of green field in front of him. So the, Rising Tide giving a good account of themselves. Certainly don't look like the Washington Generals. Of course, I'm sure they got some guys on their team being from Pittsburgh that was born by the river.
DeBoyko gets a deep kickoff this time. Caught at the 10-yard line by Troy Simons. Simons on his feet, breaks a tackle. He'll be finally brought down at the 27-yard line.
5:35 left to go in the half. This is where the Warriors defense has to use the attrition on their side of the ball that they've been adding up against this offense of the Rising Tide.
Would like to take a moment to thank everyone I talked to up at Renaissance Christian to get me the rosters in good time. We do appreciate the help to give you the best product that we can.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get time here early enough to talk to the Renaissance Christian people. Being from my home state of my youth, Pennsylvania, I was wanting to look around and see if there's anybody I may have known.
Flags on the play. Illegal substitution on Renaissance Christian.
This is where Renaissance Christian is going to have to figure out a way, because I'm sure the Warriors, the way they got hit with that passing in the last series of downs, they're going to come up with something to squash that. Somebody's going to have to be able to pick up something on the ground. See,
Southern back pass.
he's able to run
Over
out of that.
pursued. Does get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, but that's to his credit that he was able to do that. They
Or,
had
excuse
him
me,
dead to
the
rights.
original line of scrimmage. He made back the penalty.
He did good to do that.
And there was a bit of over pursuit from the defense.
Well, that's all right. They got him still pinned back behind the sticks. 2nd down, 11.
Ball spotted on the 26-yard line. 11 yards to the first down. 4:57 and ticking.
Troy
Yeah, Southern.
Simon's back there in the pistol. High snap. And
High
takes
snap.
it himself. and
Keeps it.
Runs
takes
out
up.
of a tackle.
Takes up about 7 yards now. Spot him at the 33-yard line.
Number 14, Brandon Daniels, 6 foot, 195-pound senior, in there on part of that stop for the Warriors. Yes, sir. 3rd and 4.
So 3rd and 4 with 4:18 and counting left here. That coach I see is watching his timepiece. 5 seconds. Gets it off. Pass
Ball
tipped.
tipped.
Falls incomplete. I'm going to say that was intended for Jacob Coles. A big tip by the Winton Woods D-line.
Well, that's again the Winton Woods defense bringing their part to the table that they had to do to fulfill who they are. With the stops to this drive, 4:07 left to go in the half. They got a chance to get some more points on the board before halftime, JP.
Cameron Barnes with the ball, or with the punt return position right on his own 40-yard line. Cameron Barnes coming into this game had 3 returns for 40 yards, the longest to 17. Good kick again. Barnes will pick it or let it fall out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
So the Warriors have set up shop on offense here. Plenty of time to just effectively matriculate this ball down the field. I don't see any reason to stop handing the ball to number 4. But we'll see what they come up with. As you were saying earlier, they've been favorable comparisons to him with other primetime players that have passed through these corridors of Winton Woods. Hey, Aaron Kemper, I was watching the game the other night. West Point, the U.S. Army had a guy named Aaron Kemper.
I think he did go to West Point.
Same guy?
Yes, he did. He did go to West Point. Yeah, I do. I remember.
And he's a beast for them, too, because he did positive in that game. It looks like the Warriors picked up about 3 yards.
Winton Woods out of the game. Number 4, Marcus Davis hobbling off, actually. Not sure what that is. That would be a big loss for the Warriors if he
Christian Lumpkin
has to
in
sit.
motion, but to give his inside to Jalen Lumpkin.
Jalen
and he's
Lumpkin
going
gets
through
the
guys.
first down and more. Let's spot him at about the 47-yard line. Yeah, did you see Mr. Davis hobbling off here?
I did. I see him hobbling on.
Maybe, hopefully just a cramp or so. Marching band is called to attention as they match
Hooks
around
keeps the
track.
ball
Hooks
after
pitch
faking,
out
and
to
he
Lumpkin.
pitches.
Christian Lumpkin is tripped in a flag.
That play had possibilities written all over it for a while, but once the flag came out, that was that. Holding on the Warriors.
Blocking the back was the actual call.
So again, the score, Warriors up by a 16-14 score, as we see the Warrior Nation band working its way over to the far side of the field. Again, I'm looking for those trombone suicides, but I'm guessing they must have got suspended due to this or that reason.
Hooks fakes the give to Lumpkin. Hooks keeps it on the left side. He's in the backfield. He'll move forward and a flag in.
David Keeling out there trying to help Hooks out with a block to spring him loose. But, you know, the Rising Tide had plenty of hats there. Decent speed to get to the edge. Like I said, there's Keeling out there putting a block on number 10. Tell you, it seems like the Warriors got a package of guys that they substitute in the game, and when they come in the game, for the plays that they're in there, they're really contributing. So it looks like where you can picture next year where these guys get that much more playing time.
They are loaded. You know, you saw the 7th grade team yesterday. They were pretty good too.
And what was the final score?
I believe it was 46-20.
Yeah, so they handed them their head, but the other game was won by the visitors, wasn't it?
Yes, and a bit of a head handing on that part. Hooks keeps it up the middle, breaks a tackle, on his feet, still falls forward, still short of the original line of scrimmage. It'll be a 2nd down. So penalties driving them back, but almost making up all the penalty yardage.
Well, what they are doing is possessing this ball, running clock down to 2:30 left to go in the half. 2nd and 11.
Ball is in Renaissance Christian territory. Clock ticks with 2:23 left. 2nd and 11 from the Renaissance Christian 48-yard line. Up
Nice
the middle.
plow through there.
Picks up a few more yards. Jalen Lumpkin on the carry up to the 41-yard line.
And Jalen Lumpkin is a good change of pace back for Marcus Davis.
And we have a Renaissance Christian player down. Looks like number 50, Ron Johnson, could be this player down.
So we see JP Marcus Davis getting retaped there. Looks like he'll be back in the game. I just see tape on his ankle, no ice bag. He's cutting tape off his ankle now.
I believe we just heard a score.
Elders losing 20-10.
Okay, and St. X is losing to Moeller 10-3, I think. That's
No, Elder is playing St. X.
No, it's St. X Moeller this week, I think. I'll look. I thought I heard
got
Moeller.
the computer, but
Yeah, don't look during the game. For a player being worked on.
what do you use that computer for? Don't you use that to gather all the facts we need?
During the game, if I need to look it up, I do that. When it's just my regular life, I use it for regular life things.
Regular life things like what? Surfing those sites? Yeah.
Stat sites. So, Mr. Ron Johnson is coming off the field, tenderly limping towards the sideline.
Of course, this game, JP, there's no easy moments in this game for the Warriors.
No.
It's been really close to the best game.
And really, you never want to treat a game like an easy game until you've got that huge cushion that they can't come back from, right?
That's right.
You want to play 100% all the time. That way your mind's trained to do that. 2:05 left.
Sometimes you have to guard against taking your opponent too lightly based on who they are or the circumstances surrounding.
Hooks gives to Jalen Lumpkin. Lumpkin stopped at the line of scrimmage, and it may be a loss of a yard. It'll bring up 4th and 6.
1:46 left to go in the half.
Next week, the Loveland and Winton Woods game is homecoming. We'll be covering the Elder at Winton Woods game. No special event with that, just the special event of the game itself.
Well, these games are so special, JP, with this high school activity.
Yeah.
Sometimes I almost feel like saying grace before the game, like it's a good meal.
Pitch is out to number 32,
Keeling.
David Keeling. He'll pick up a VR.
It's like
So we tick to 1:10 left. Turnover on downs. Renaissance Christian will take over 1st and 10 on their own 39-yard line.
it's where you got to
Or 38-yard line, correction.
The defense cannot relax with this 1:10 left to go in the half. This guy's already demonstrated that he can throw that ball and a guy can get open underneath it.
Loveland up 17-6 over the Anderson Redskins. Both teams, Winton Woods will play in weeks 7 and 9. That Anderson game is always a good rivalry game, longtime rivals.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a throw out the records game. That game is going to be on Thursday night TV, I believe.
Yes, it will.
Okay, here comes a bag of ice for Marcus Davis now.
Up the middle, pickup of about 3. You know, if I got nothing to do, I may go down to ye old Anderson
Ye old Anderson,
and attend.
you got something orange to wear over there?
Black.
No.
Black.
There you go.
Maybe I'll see if I can ride on the team bus and take pictures.
They're not going to ride with you on a team bus, JP. You're too good
Give.
at playing poker.
It is to Darrell Dean. Dean on the run. It's a race to the end zone, and he'll be brought down at the 9-yard line. Ball knocked loose, but after he was down.
24.8 seconds left to go in the half. This is what you call a bad situation for the Warrior Nation. This close to the half, this kind of big yardage play is what you didn't want to see.
22 seconds and
Clock
counting
running.
left. Snap.
18
Whistle down.
seconds, clock stopped at here. No flags on the play. That looks a little bit
Looks like,
discombobulated the way that jumped off, but
It looks like it may have been dropped. 2nd and 10 now. They spiked the ball to stop the clock is what reported. It was something of that nature.
okay.
Thank you, Mr. Suarez. The clock stopped.
There's that fade.
Pass
Turn
is
around.
complete.
That ball's caught.
Once again to number
Touchdown.
3, Troy Simons. Touchdown, Renaissance Christian. They're up 20-16.
11 seconds left to go in the half. No flags on the field.
So 10-yard touchdown pass. Winton Woods defense is going to have to figure out how to stop these passes.
Yeah, this what it is an example. Team has enough different weapons to use, and they're mixing them up, and it just gives these guys too much to think about where they can't pin their ears back. We'll see how they do on this two-point conversion.
1 for 1 on conversions. Pass. Picked off. End.
Cameron Barnes intercepting that ball.
And of course, since it's a try, you do not get to run it back. If it's picked up by the defense, that is in.
Well, now, JP, the Warriors are going to have to figure something out about how to get themselves successfully through the rest of this game. You know, I see Marcus Davis carrying that bag of ice over there on his ankle. But the problems they're having now isn't on his side of the ball. The defenders, like you say, are going to have to decide who's going to be the one to smother this rising tide. And don't let them come in here and tsunami the Warrior Nation on this fine Friday evening in Forest Park, Ohio. So here comes the rising tide.
Cameron Barnes and Lionel McConnell back to receive. This kick from Renaissance Christian.
This is what you need, though. You need a good tune-up.
Squibber on the ground, rolls. Back picked up by Lionel McConnell. McConnell gets a block he needs. Thinks back to the left, beats his own man. Still left, running more east-west, not north-south like he needs. And he is wrapped up. You got all that east-west run, and they'll eventually catch up to you on the north-south run.
One of them etch-a-sketch runs there, all over the place.
Shake, 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 shake.
But the trouble is, he couldn't shake anybody. But here we go, the Warriors. Well, that's the end of the half. There's no time on the clock.
After one half of play, Renaissance Christian has shown they have come to play. And we do have a flag down, actually. Face mask on Renaissance Christian, so we should have one untimed down. Seeing as the rules say you cannot end on a defensive penalty.
Yeah. If the Warriors do get another shot with this ball, this is where they might want to concede their first passing play of the half. They need to do something with this play that could potentially be game-changing for them. Of course, now this being band night, JP, what would these guys be doing? Is this like an extra session of halftime for them?
Just a standard 20 minutes. Everyone will come out on the field. The kids will come out to the fight song. Hooks, breaks a tackle, looks back, pass, deep, away. End of the half. So, at halftime here at Charlie Frederick Stadium, the Renaissance Christian Academy Rising Tide of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania have a lead over Cincinnati Winton Woods Warriors, 20-16. Stay with us. Band night activities next here on Waycross Community Media.
Get your pastrami sandwich. We'll be back.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Waycross Community Media's coverage of the Renaissance Christian Academy Rising Tide out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, taking on the Winton Woods Warriors out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Renaissance Christian is up 20-16, and we've been kind of talking about it, Jacob, during halftime. Renaissance Christian has come to play.
Certainly have, JP. I said earlier, these guys were coming in here as auditions for the Washington Generals. But now they look to be crafting a brave new world victory for their team and their head coach, Coach Colissimo.
Quick look at halftime stats. Once again, the score is 20-16 in favor of Renaissance Christian. Take a look at these, Jacob. First downs, Renaissance Christian 9, Winton Woods 10. Passing, Renaissance Christian 136, 0 for Winton Woods. Total plays and yards, Winton Woods 255, Renaissance Christian 33 for 247. Fumbles, this is big. Winton Woods, 3 fumbles. Guess how many times they lost it? All 3. 100% loss rate. Time of possession, 13:35 for Renaissance Christian, 10:25 for Winton Woods. Winton Woods got a couple scores, but they made quick work of it. They haven't been working the clock.
Well, JP, these fumbles are indicative of what I said earlier this season. They can sustain penalties, but these fumbles, they can't overcome that. So they're going to have to find a way, and they're going to be shorthanded in the second half of this game. Now, I don't think they're going to have the services of Mr. Number 4, Marcus Davis. Also, they're losing the services of a key offensive lineman and Darius Thomas. They both left the field at halftime with ice bags on their ankles.
Yeah, definitely you got a couple players injured. They got their starting center out, and they got their starting running back out. Renaissance Christian is playing like mad. They are playing to win.
Well, you don't come I don't know if you've made the trip. I've made the trip a few times over the years as an over-the-road truck driver, but you don't come from Pittsburgh to here thinking lightly of yourself. I mean, it's a long way to come just to come down and hit somebody your head. So, to their credit, Coach Colissimo has these guys playing some serious ball against the Warriors. And Coach Dre is going to have to see to it that his Chargers step up and take this shellacking and put one on them, because if they don't put the shellacking on the Rising Tide may take the Winton Woods to the woodshed.
Our officiating crew tonight, the 5-man crew, doing a good job tonight, calling it pretty well. Winton Woods will receive the kickoff to start the second half. It has been a lot of struggle, a lot of trenches.
Well, this is what happens when you don't know too much about your opponent. I was over this week talking around, and no one knew too much about these guys. They couldn't even tell me what their mascot name was. But they assured me that everything was going to be all right just the same. But here we are in a ball game. The Warriors take that kickoff, start at their own 45-yard line.
Jalen Lumpkin picking that kickoff, only going 10 yards, and Winton Woods getting great field position to start. They'll start 1st and 10 on their own 45. I'm not totally sure that was intended to maybe be an onside kick.
Well, if it was intended to be an onside kick, it was bad intentions or a bad result for whatever the intentions were. But right now, it's up to this Warrior offense led by senior Shamar Hooks coming out here to find a way to dent this scoreboard and get this Rising Sun put back in their place. Rising Sun, listen to me, Rising Tide.
Hooks gives to Jalen Lumpkin, up the middle, stopped at the line of scrimmage. They'll give him about a yard on forward progress. 2nd and 9 next.
Jalen Lumpkin sticking his nose in there, knowing that the weight of the world is going to have to be on his shoulders for the second half of this game. Shamar Hooks, he may have to open this thing up and throw a couple pass completions because this defense, frankly, doesn't have enough to think about. And now they can stack up that middle. You see how they got this box loaded up waiting for the run.
Hooks under center. Give is to Lumpkin. No, excuse me. Yes, Lumpkin does have it. No gain.
Number 44, Cameron Day Suggs,
yes, excuse me,
out there on the pitch. 5'9", 184-pound senior. Day Suggs, another one of those contributors. When he gets in the game for the plays he's in there, he gets things done. We see Shamar Hooks under center. Pitching that ball to Day Suggs, but there's Hats waiting for him. 3rd down, 10 to go for the Warriors.
So 3rd and 10. In motion is Christian Lumpkin. He gets the pitch. Right side.
Got the block.
Got the block he needs. He'll be down about a yard, 2 yards short with the first down. They'll spot him at the 47-yard line in Renaissance Christian territory. 10:36 left.
Okay, so that was good. Okay, we got Lumpkin, Christian Lumpkin, holding on to his hamstring a little bit, kind of gingerly exiting the field. Looks like the Warriors are going to punt. I figured they'd call that 4-down territory. Looks like number 92 is going to be snapping. Rodney Kroom, 6'3", 190-pound sophomore.
Now Jalen Lumpkin back to punt. Could this be a fake?
No.
Yeah, they'll get it off. Good
So
punt.
kicks off.
Takes a Winton Woods bounce and is touched at the 21-yard line. Number 8 for Winton Woods.
David Long.
David Long on that touch.
So here comes the rest of the defense out there on the field. Adrian Rankin coming out there. Number 12, Aaron Smith, 5'8", 225-pound senior.
9:55 left in the 3rd period. 20-16 in favor of the well-traveled Renaissance Christian Rising Tide.
Well, this is where we're going to get a chance to see what was talked about at halftime in there, JP. I know you're always curious about the fly on the wall in these places, but tonight I'm sure he was working overtime with what was being said.
Got a fly on the window. Does
Fly
that
on
count?
the window. Reed!
Up the middle. Ball stripped loose. I think no, it's just a fake handoff and a loss.
All kind of hats.
TF Southern taken down for a loss.
The Cage cousins were waiting for him. Daniel Cage, his cousin. Adrian Rankin, number 15, put the hammer on that ball carrier that time. And that's what the Warrior defense is going to have to do. They're just going to have to hand out the script of a Starkist tuna commercial with plenty of punishment on these guys from here on in.
Loss of 4. 2nd and 14. Ball is on the 13-yard line. Renaissance Christian with possession.
Looks like we got Christian Lumpkin getting up on the table now. Adam Shiplett, trainer, is working serious overtime tonight.
Give goes nowhere. Back to the line of scrimmage. They may give them a half a yard forward progress.
Looks like the band.
Hey, look, trombones. Ask
is-
and ye receive.
Who they going to put up there in the middle of them suicide trombones? JP, as an alum of the band, you should come down some night and stand in there.
We usually leave it for, it's usually been left to a squeamish person.
Well, who's that? I don't know who we're going to get to do this, but of course
Said
the
Jason
band.
Dudley, he's squeamish.
Now, poor Jason Dudley comes here, leaves all his college activities to spend a Friday night with us.
We love him for it.
Long
Pass
pass.
is overthrown through the fingertips of Troy Simons. That combination, Southern to Simons, has been the bane of Winton Woods' existence tonight.
Yeah, and they were plays where they knew they had to keep the guy in front of them. Long third down conversions.
Troy Simons has offers on the table from can't even read my own handwriting. Stony Brook and Temple. So Temple has offered him. Stony Brook. Kiev Southern has been offered by Western Liberty. Power formation. House is full for the punt. Punt was deflected. Rolling, taking a few Renaissance Christian stops, and will settle at the 41-yard line. So that punt deflected. Winton Woods starts 1st and 10 after holding Renaissance to a 3-and-out. The defense has been keeping this game in check.
That's right, and to their credit, at least the defensive front seven has done their job. A couple questions about the secondary lapses on these big plays, but I'm not ready to give up on the Warriors as they send their defense out there. Number 71, Stephon Briggins, 6'4", 245 senior. Oh, excuse me, they send their offense out there. There's the give to Lumpkin. He runs around a nice block. Noah Balboa Listerman steering this guy right on the other side of the hash mark, out of the way completely.
So 8:03, that is a first down. Ball spotted at the 27-yard
on that
line.
nice block. Stephon Briggins, they come in there and just seal that outside, just like a retaining wall.
Got a couple cheerleaders in the, actually a cheerleader and a drill team member.
Hooks keeps
it left side. He's got some room. Cuts through, falls forward to the 10-yard line. He'll be spotted down at the 11.
Falls forward. I don't know what stopped him. Might got a little bit of turf monkey on that play, but still a good pickup.
It was actually the previous play we're looking at on the replay.
That's right. Number 24, Jalen Lumpkin. Again, that's a 24-carat back right there, and I know he's willing to step up in the absence of Marcus Davis.
Gives to Jalen Lumpkin. Lumpkin forward for about 5 yards.
Tough yards, but he's a tough guy to get him for you. Offensive line must have been told to pretty stern at halftime, because I can see a big difference in their intensity here in the second half, JP.
And how much of this could be attrition?
Well, not at this point, but beginning.
They're carrying it together.
There's
Hooks ends up taking it in. Hooks and Lumpkin were both holding onto the ball. Lumpkin released it. Hooks goes into the end zone on the 8-yard carry.
Number
Look
2,
here.
Kiev Southern still laying down in the backfield there. Frustration over there missing that tackle. I don't think he's injured. But this is what the Warriors need to do. Get out here, lead by a score of 22-20, looking to convert this extra point, and it's up, and it looks like this one is good.
And is good.
So
Jermaine Lunsford puts it up, and Winton Woods back in front. 23-20.
Okay, so this looks like the opening for the band on their trombone suicide scores, like we were at halftime.
Yeah, they just had it. They're going to go do it in front of the visiting crowd.
Oh,
Missed it. That was such a good drive, we missed it.
Yeah, we missed it, but they didn't make too much noise. I think the offense was making all the noise
Yes,
there.
they were.
Of course, in the halftime, I was talking to proud parents. Kevin and Kimberly Watson, their son, proudly playing the quad out here at band night for the Warriors. And, you know, that's where Warrior Nation everybody comes out to support. The band, integral contributors, helping with the school spirit. They don't have Chief Winton patrolling the sidelines like they did the year they won it all, but they still got his spirit somewhere. Maybe it's in the sky, I don't know.
Coyote DeBoyku sets the ball on the tee. Ready to deliver the kickoff. And back to receive, Jacob Coles and Troy Simons. This kick, another squibber, takes a bounce, picked up at the 33-yard line. Left side, gets hardly anything, maybe 5 yards on the return.
Demetrius Sewsbury muscles him out of bounds over there on the far sideline for the Warriors.
Tyreek Wolford on that carry. Christian Lumpkin on the stop.
Brendan McRitch.
Getting some questions as to player numbers. Renaissance Christian with the ball, 1st and 10 on their own 38-yard line. Southern, Southern in the pistol. Running, actually, excuse me, that's Troy Simons. He gets nothing, ball looks loose.
He gets a big number 75 into his chest. Daniel Cage runs up there, puts the stop to the implants right off.
So 6:45 and counting. Loss of 3 on that play. Or no, correction, loss of 2.
You're not going to run through Daniel Cage like on that. This guy might be seeing stars about now.
So 6.5 and counting. 2nd and 12. Ball on the 36-yard line. Renaissance Christian may have woken the beast.
Looks like they're going to throw
Kiev
that deep
Southern
fade
back
again.
to pass again. Through the hands,
Intercepted.
picked up by Winton Woods, picked up by
Cameron
number
Barnes
3, Cameron
with the
Barnes.
ball.
Barnes trips up and down to the inside the 20, pick return.
They'll be calling it down at the 18-yard line. Good defense for the Warriors. Once that ball gets tipped, usually the defender ends up with it there. And that ball is tipped, and if it wasn't Barnes getting it, it could have been Lumpkin getting it, but it was out there. Nice return. Good transition blocks by the Warriors. Get this ball up the field. 6:06 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
1st and 10 for Winton Woods on the Renaissance Christian 18. Winton Woods, if they are playing lights out like we know they can, they could get another score and break this game wide open. Can Renaissance Christian answer the bell?
Hooks under center, looking it over. Got Lumpkin behind them.
Hooks gives to Lumpkin. Lumpkin is stopped by the Renaissance defensive line. Loss of 2.
Renaissance defensive line, again, they feared no kind of passing plays, so they got that box loaded up. Put the stops to that play before it could get even started.
Now look at the difference in this game right now. Winton Woods, their first drive, they went for a field goal instead of going for it. That's currently the difference. But Renaissance Christian would still have the lead if they hadn't missed their 2 conversions.
Well, I'm not going to worry about those possibilities because right now the Warriors
Christian
are knocking on the
Lumpkin
door.
falls forward, picks up about 8 on the carry. They'll spot him at about the 12-yard line.
See, sometimes if you're going to be a Warrior Nation, JP, you got to be willing to take them for their imperfections because weighed against what they execute well at, it's not even close. You know, I'll root for these guys, and they're my boys. I don't drive a tricked-out Buick Riviera, but these guys are going to get the job done. Here's Hooks under center.
Hooks
He
keeps it, rolls left, under pressure, being stiff-armed, brought down for a loss of 3 and a flag.
I'll tell you, these defenders, quick to the corner. Again, we normally see where the Warriors.
Actually, correction, no flag. I thought I heard one of the camera guys say a flag.
Yeah, that was wishful thinking, but I don't, you know, that was a good play. I think they're going to have to go straight north and south on this. Or look at Dave Suggs I don't know, that block that Day Suggs just put on that player he was up against almost looked like a WWF wrestling move.
4th and 8 for Winton Woods.
Hooks
under center. Hooks back, under pressure, looks, pass, complete to Jalen Lumpkin. Jalen Lumpkin's on his feet. He's into the end zone. Touchdown!
In the end zone for the Warriors. Number 5 for the Rising Tide, Mr. DeAndre Hanner, is just beside himself with disgust and being dejected. And this is showing signs with 4:05 left to go in the third quarter where the Warriors may have this team from Pennsylvania demoralized.
Jermaine Lunsford to put up another point after, if he can. Kick is up. Good. Winton Woods up.
Flag on the play.
And we do have a flag back.
This looks like it could be in the neighborhood of being against the Rising Tide.
Here's the replay of the touchdown. There's that pass you were asking for all first half.
Yeah, well, that's what they got to do to loosen this thing up. Although I'd like to see Hooks make that ball a little bit straight line. Sometimes that ball gets floating too much out there, but we'll take it on this one. And this is what the Warriors need, JP. 30-20, 4:05 left to go in the third quarter. Just going to have to make sure they execute on special teams now. It's where you can't let this guy have the big coast-to-coast end zone eye candy type of return on you.
But we can say for sure that we have had a ball game all game so far.
And by all means, it's Friday night in Cincinnati.
We love our high school football down here.
That's what I'm saying. I'm glad this team comes in and gives a good account of themselves.
Texas and Florida may argue they have just as good high school football, but I think the passion lies here in Ohio.
It's wherever you live. If you live in Texas or Florida, that's great for you to feel that way.
Yes.
I'm staying up here myself, and I'm just fine with this team. Grew up in Pennsylvania. I was fine with the football. I grew up in there.
Penalty was roughing the kicker, as we postulated. Since we were busy looking at the touchdown replay, we missed the call. Kick is up.
Boyku steps off into this one.
A good kick picked up at the 13-yard line. Run back.
Cameron Barnes.
Picks up about 3 yards after first contact, does the ball carrier.
Cameron Barnes for the Warriors shed a block and was able to stay with it, hang in there with help from David Long to make that tackle.
Number 22, is it? On the return? Or possibly 27. Jacob Coles didn't quite catch the number live or in replay.
3:57 left to go in the third quarter for the Rising Tide. Kiev Southern in the pistol. He gets a snap.
Yep. Pitches back out to number 28, Devon Lewis. Flag on the sideline.
That flag would be no doubt for a horse collar, but I don't think a horse collar was the net result of why that tackle was made, but that's probably what it's going to be.
Horse collar against the Warriors.
So
and a correction, that was number 7, Darrell Dean on the ball carry.
Okay, yeah, that was a good horse collar. I mean, there's no good horse collar, but it was a horse
the correct
collar.
call, you mean.
Correct call, yes. So the Rising Tide are going to start it off 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line. Trips to the left, near side of field here. Pistol backfield, Kiev Southern.
Southern fakes the give
the
to Dean, and he's stopped for a loss of about a yard.
War defenders waiting on that one, led by number 12, Aaron Smith.
Under 3:15 left in the third period, 30-20 in favor of the Winton Woods Warriors. 2nd and 11 coming up Renaissance Christian with the ball on their own 41-yard line.
You know, Renaissance Christian, doesn't seem to have any quit in them. You know, they're still taking this as a legitimate contention of these games. They're looking to throw on this play.
Southern looks back, rolls left. Under pressure, and he will be taken down by a trio of Warriors deep in the backfield. They'll spot him at about the 27-yard line.
Adrian Rankin, number 15 on the first charge, and then number 14, Brandon Daniels, cleans it up. And that's what you need if you're the Winton Woods Warrior defense. David Long in there assisting on the stop.
So third and 26. Ball spotted on the 26-yard line. 2:15 left.
That's the swarming defense you need if you're the Warriors, what they just had on that play, JP.
And if you're Winton Woods, you want to make sure everyone's healthy next week for that Loveland game.
Yeah, it's a little bit too late for that now, the way it looks, but hopefully next week they could be getting Therese Curtis
Southern back to pass.
Picked off
by Mike Edwards. Edwards to the 20, to the 15, 10. Edwards is in. Pick six. Pick six.
Touchdown, Winton Woods Warriors. Looks like they're about to open up a 55-gallon drum on these guys now, JP. And now again, this is where the attrition is starting to take hold. 1:46 left to go in the third quarter. And it looks like
39-yard pick six.
They went to the well once too often on that pass pattern over there.
If you read it, you'll pick it. Lunsford kick is up.
And that kick is good.
Good.
37-20, 17-point lead for the Warriors now. Sometimes you just need to get these scares to make you step up your game a little bit.
Yes, sir.
That offensive line is starting to push these guys around and move them off the ball. Defense is starting to hold their head up high. When we go on the replay, we see this guy had decent protection and held up for a minute, but just overthrew the ball. 3-4 Warriors there to one of his guys. He should have thrown that anyway, but I'll take it. Yes, sir. That's nice pick six.
Number 33 was Mr. Aaron Kemper's old number, if you would think back those couple of years.
That's right. They was putting 3 and 3 together those couple of years with him back there. And now you tell me he's doing this for West Point. Like I said, I was watching that game. I kept hearing that name getting called. But all the guys had West Point on the back of their jersey, and he wasn't number 33. But
caused a little confusion, eh?
It's good to see a Warrior moving on to big things out there in the world.
Kick. Picked up off the chest of the receiver. Gets it on the 14-yard line. Runs back for about a 15, 16-yard run back. They'll take over 1st and 10. Renaissance Christian will on their own 30-yard line. Carry was by Sam McGraw.
Good special teams coverage by the Warriors. Definitely keeping this to a long field, and that's where they gotta, as long as they can keep this a long field, you know, don't give these guys that short field work. They got a chance to keep the hammer down on these guys.
Minute 37 left in the third period. Renaissance Christian looking to claw their way back against these Winton Woods Warriors.
Well, this rising tide is a little bit below the waterline in this score now, JP. Here's the Warrior defense looking to put pedal to the metal.
Kiev Southern under center, high formation backfield. Southern pass through the fingertips. Calls incomplete. Intended for number 27, Jacob Coles.
Well, that pass, man, was still wide open on that. He just kind of dropped that ball, but the Warriors are going to have to make sure that they put the squelch, because a pass like that could turn into yards after catch. This guy plants his foot and reverses direction a little bit.
So a minute 34. Clock stops with the incompletion. Southern under center. Give. Stopped in the backfield. A big stop by Winton Woods. Daniel Cage. Give it to him.
Hit him like he was the tip of the iceberg on that one, JP. Boom. Stood up.
Actually, his first
Cage
contact was
on
number
his
14,
stop.
Brandon Daniels.
Brandon Daniels.
There you see
Looks like
Coach
Daniels.
Colosimo.
Coach Colosimo, big guy over there.
Very nice gentleman. Talked to him for a good 25, 30 minutes on the sideline. Very well versed in the manner of football.
So you met somebody from Pittsburgh that you liked, huh, JP?
He was nice to talk to. Southern keeps it wrapped up for a loss of another couple yards.
Yeah, now.
Let me make a statement. I have plenty of good friends from college who are from Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you do, JP.
Just not when they're playing a Cincinnati team.
Well, you know, Pittsburgh ended up getting their heart broke the other day in the other endeavor, but no.
We like to see St. Louis putting a good whipping on the Pirates.
Of course, we might as well wait till next year on that whole
Of course,
deal.
the news coming down today that Mr. Dusty Baker let go from the Cincinnati Reds.
That's right, and I'm sure he'll find and land somewhere in a new situation.
Looks like Renaissance Christian deciding what to do on this 4th and 14. Actually, that'll end our third quarter of action. So after 3, Winton Woods Warriors up 37-20 over the Renaissance Christian Rising Tide as we rise into the final quarter of this game.
Yeah, it looks like, JP, that struggle that the Rising Tide was coming across with the in the half. Second half, the Warriors got out here and just pulling away from these guys now. Classic beatdown. I don't want to call it a shellacking, but what they're doing now is definitely giving these guys an audition as the Washington Generals.
Don't forget, if you would like to join our all-volunteer crew here at Waycross Community Media, I'm a volunteer. Mr. Jacob Williams here is a volunteer. Give us a call at 825-2429. Visit us online at www.waycross.tv. You are, once again, watching. There you see Mr. Shaq Montgomery on camera number 2 waving. Shaq, you're doing a great job up there. We've got Ricky and Mr. Butch Colbreth up on camera here in the dark end. It's a little dark down there.
Hey, don't
there we go. Ricky,
no
wait.
Now, JP.
Once again, we are at Charlie Frederick Stadium as we get ready for this punt.
Yeah, Shaq Montgomery up there.
Ball is loose. Punt will be keeps it.
Have to run for it.
Running forward. Can he get the first down? He needs to be stopped if force a turnover.
Got the first
and he
down.
will get, no, actually, I think he'll be just short of it. It'll be very close. We'll see if they decide to measure or if we'll spot it.
That was good,
very low snap.
Good skill for him to avoid all that rush. You know, he's getting away from tacklers. Carrying the ball out there a little bit sloppy, but it did.
And we will measure this. So a measurement to see if that punt snafu turns into success. Ball right at the 40-yard line, and we'll see.
It's going to be short. I see Warriors indicating short.
And referee signals short. Turnover on downs after the busted play.
Okay, so again, though, you got to give the young man credit to get what he could out of that. I know the Warriors' heart skipped a beat on that for a while, JP.
Troy Simons, good, quick feet thinking. I believe the coach, Renaissance Christian, Mr. Maze Colosimo, said that he was perhaps the best athlete on his team so far.
Well, of course, he's only had 1 year to sort through that, but if this guy's the best athlete after 1 year, then he's your man. Like you say, these guys are getting offers, Temple Owls, different universities.
MAC school for Temple. Hooks, under center. Hooks back to pass. Pass aired out. Through the fingertips
In and out
of
the
number
arms
1, Javante Wright.
Javante Wright, in and out of his arms. 5'8", 170-pound senior. And this young man does a good job for the Warriors. Day Suggs staying back there. I thought he might drift out in the flat and catch that ball, break a couple tackles. Wright had to slow down a little bit to let the ball catch up to him. If he could have caught that running in full stride, it might have been a different story. But here I am talking about maybe if again.
Stop talking about those maybes, Jacob. Hooks gives to Lumpkin. Lumpkin gets about 5.
So this is where the Warriors would certainly like to eat a bunch of clock, regardless of the outcome of this drive. Any outcome that eats a lot of clock is a positive one at this point for the Warriors.
You think this might be a good time to let Shamar air it out a little bit? Just get some more practice reps in?
I don't think you want to air it out at this point in the field. You know, just let these guys run this ball.
Flags in. False start on the Warriors.
You got a 17-point lead at this time, 11 minutes and 10 seconds left to go. You got the clock on your side as long as you keep running the ball and don't lay it out on the ground.
3-possession game.
But again, I can't say enough about the fight in this team from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Rising Tide. They may not be the Crimson Tide, but they'll take it for a serious ride here tonight.
This will help them in the long run. Christian Lumpkin gets about 6 out at the 34-yard line.
Keeps the ball in bounds, keeps that clock moving. And again, another thing here, playing smart football, you don't want to run out of bounds. You want to keep everything so this clock rolls. Clock running, chains moving, whistle blowing.
Ball spotted on the 35-yard line. 4th and 5 for Winton Woods. Looks like they'll go for it. Hooks under center.
Yeah, he might have to throw on this down.
Lumpkin in motion. Pitch to Christian Lumpkin. Lumpkin rounds the bend. He's got a hole. Taken down. He'll get the first down, and he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line.
Nice block thrown on the perimeter for Lumpkin by number 44, Mr. Cameron Day Suggs. Again, one of those role players when they send this guy in the game.
10 minutes remaining in this Titanic struggle.
Well, it's good to see the Warriors executing well, because this way these new uniforms, they'll have a good feeling about. I like these uniforms.
I agree. Numbers are nice, big, and visible. Hooks, pitch to Christian Lumpkin. Lumpkin, right side, cuts. Picks up a couple yards.
Again,
25-yard
ball in bounds, not trying to stretch that play to the sideline where they can knock him out of bounds and stop the clock. Warrior band getting the nation hyped up. We got the cheerleaders down in the lower deck of the stands. Got this little auxiliary cheerleader wearing her October pink with a little pink headband, and she's looking like she's going to be learning all these moves.
Nice crowd coming out to support Warrior Nation. Hooks under center. Lumpkin in motion. Hooks gives to Jalen Lumpkin, Jalen Lumpkin will get right around the first down to the 17-yard line.
Jalen Lumpkin looks like he's going to be getting up a little slow, although he's getting up. I'm always impressed by the way this young man comes in the game, knowing that he has to fill the shoes of Marcus Davis. Just give him the ball. He's going north and south with it.
Jalen Lumpkin, 5'10", 200 pounds, sophomore. He looks to be the future of the running part of this program. Marcus Davis has a year left after this. Mr. Hooks in his senior year.
More Hooks under center.
Hooks
Fakes
keeps
the
it.
give and keeps
Left
it.
side, some room. First down and down to the 6-yard line.
8:33 left to go in the game here. The Warrior offense demonstrating the idea that we're going to just take the air out of this ball while we're scoring points.
First and goal for Winton Woods on the 7. 8:32 left. Timeout. Renaissance Christian, their first of the half. stops the clock with 8:31 remaining.
Well, it looks like at halftime, Coach Dre and his staff corrected whatever was wrong with the ship. You know, ball stopped getting laid out on the ground. Some of these, the defenders did a much better job containing rising tide. But again, I can't say enough. These guys come in, give a very good account of themselves. Who knows? They could get invited to the Chili Showdown one of these years playing someone.
Come down. Elder 20, St. X 10 with 10 minutes left in the game, according to some posts on the internet. Actually, it's 23-10 now. It's 6:33 left as I look down. Princeton, Coleraine at Princeton. Coleraine trailing Princeton with 6:45 left in the third, 31-28.
Coleraine trailing Princeton?
Yes, sir.
Well, looks like the Vikings trying to be on the move against the Cards.
And if they win, that will propel them in the D2 Region 6 Harbin standings.
So here's Hooks under center.
Ball start, perhaps the call flags.
Nice hole. Mr. Lumpkin, Mr. Magoo could have ran through that hole. Unfortunately, the flag on the play.
Princeton was 10th in the D2 Region 6 Harbins with their 2-3 record. Anyone who can beat Coleraine can use Coleraine as, what's the term someone might use? The Harbin cow.
As references of who we are. You know, hey. But it doesn't matter who you beat, because once the playoffs get here, it's a new season altogether.
One and done.
No one cares
winning
about
on.
those records from before. You know. That playing that ball, Thanksgiving. Like I said, when I was in high school, I spent all my Thanksgivings at the Caddy Shack. But these guys are playing ball on their Thanksgiving. The pitch is to Lumpkin.
To Lumpkin. Lumpkin.
He avoids the tackle.
Avoids
He's going
the
to run through
shoestrings
another tackle.
He's forward for
And
4 yards.
zone.
Leaps into the end zone. Touchdown. Christian Lumpkin from 12 yards out.
Christian Lumpkin had to want it real bad on that play. Avoiding one tackle in the backfield. Breaking through 2 arm tackles in there. Again, this is where the Warriors on offense posing their will on these visitors from the rising tide.
Jermaine Lumpkin. Carry on, sorry.
Nice leap at the end, clearing the pylon for Lumpkin. Looks like we'll try the extra point attempt.
Kick is up. And it is good. 44-20 in favor of the home Winton Woods Warriors.
Jermaine Lumpkin, 167-pound senior for the Warriors. Nice night kicking the football. Started a little rough at first, but now he's got everything settled down and going through the poles.
7:50 remaining in the game. You see the kick up and good. Love that camera angle. Quick look as we came at the Week 5 computer rankings, the Harbin points. Loveland with the lead over Winton Woods. Winton Woods second, Northwest third, Mount Holly fourth, Withrow fifth, Anderson sixth, LaSalle seventh, eighth, and the current final qualifying spot, Harrison. Kings is ninth, Princeton 10th, Troy 11th, Walnut Hills is 14th, Glen Estee 18th. Top 8 for region in each region for divisions 2 through 7 get in. Top 16 in the 2 regions in Division 1 go to the tournament.
Well, from my perspective, and I know talking to Coach Dre, it's not so much a question of who, but it's a question of where. Where will they play in the playoffs?
Will it be home? If you're in the top half of the bracket, you get home field advantage for the first week.
Not even so much that game. It's after that, where will they go? I know
sir.
Coach Dre has a place that he prefers to go. And here we go on the return for the rising tide. Cameron Barnes, nice job of hanging on and pulling this guy down before he can get too far up the street. But I know Coach Dre, if they get going in the playoffs, there's a certain place he wants to play. And I know there's a certain place that he'd rather not play. But with the talent he's got, shouldn't much matter. The nation will follow these guys. You know, the nation will be there for them.
Rising Tide will have the ball 1st and 10 on their own 31-yard line. I'm sure they'd like to get a score here towards the end of the game.
You know, the color guard again, the cheerleaders and color guard, the band, all in conjunction, giving good support for Warrior Nation with 7:41 left to go in the game. They know that their homecoming game is next week, and some of these moves I'm seeing down there will probably be out there on the dance floor homecoming night.
Championship weekend at the Ohio High School Athletic Association is December 5th through 7th. Games being played between Canton Fawcett Stadium and Massillon Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. On his feet, no gain for Renaissance Christian.
Yeah, see, now the Warrior defense handling that up front. David Long, number 8, on the stop. Had guys blitzing. It looks like they're able to survive, if you will, the loss of Therese Curtis until he comes back. And tonight, with the injuries they've had, they're able to survive them. But next week is going to be interesting. Of course, next week, the Warriors should know more about their opponent for next week. So they'll know how
Loveland
to prepare.
will give them everything they've got. Simons gives up the middle to Darrell Dean. Dean picks up about a yard.
David Long and Mr. Sparks, David Sparks on the stop for the Warriors. Looks like we got number 95, Lance Johnson, 6'2", 215-pound junior in the game at D-line for the Warriors. Also number 99, Jerron Cage in there, left in for the Warriors.
6:18 and counting left. 3rd and 8 from the 33-yard line for Renaissance Christian. Simons keeps it, rolls left. Under pressure, he'll be getting about a 2-yard gain, driven out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Number 92, Rodney Kroom, in there on the chase for the Warriors. Getting this guy run out of bounds. 5:54 left to go. This is what these guys certainly have put a scare into Warrior Nation tonight, though, JP.
Beautiful Friday night, just before 10 o'clock on Friday, October 4th. Not too far away from the Halloween and the old Thanksgiving. It's pumpkin pie season, Jacob. Punt. Fake. Forced into a fake situation. Big pressure for Winton Woods. Big block. That was a bit of a wrestling takedown block. And Renaissance will get a 1st down out of it. Twice now that they've had a busted punt. I'm not so sure that was actually a fake. It may have been a busted punt again. Let's take a look.
I think he was looking to do that rugby kick. Oh, no, that looked fake.
That was a
You're
fake.
Right. That was fake.
I should never doubt what I said the first time. So Renaissance Christian 1st and 10 on their own 44-yard line.
He was able to get up a couple nice blocks on that.
Resourceful thinking for Renaissance Christian to try and get yardage.
Think long, think wrong. Think fast, you may last. And that's what that was about for the young man on that play.
Under 5 minutes to go. 24-point spread between these two teams.
As we see Shamar Hooks over here on the sideline taking
Loss.
snaps. Everybody on defense there for the Warriors.
Clock runs, 4.5 left.
Good to see Mike Edwards playing with that restless abandon. I know he got nicked up a little bit in that Thurgood Marshall game, but no sign of it with that pick 6 for him tonight on the scoreboard.
Of course, Winton Woods beating Thurgood Marshall 41-34 with a bit of an interesting, if not controversial, ending to that game.
No, it was an interesting inning. There was nothing controversial. The stripes giveth and the stripes taketh away, just like it says in the good book.
We respect the stripes and the game. Simon, busted, falls forward, a loss of 3. Winton Woods defense still bringing it here late in the game.
That's right, because they know that the way that they were kind of pushed to the brink near the end of that first half, they don't want to see no sign of this. They don't want any future opponent to get no ideas from this game.
3.5 left in this Friday night football game here on Waycross Community Media. 3rd and 14 from the 40-yard line for Renaissance Christian. The Rising Tide have risen to the challenge Winton Woods have provided, but have fallen short of the goal.
Well, they still have a chance to make their presence known. Dent the scoreboard, maybe.
High snap picked up by Troy Simons. He keeps it, sacked for about a 7-yard loss.
Who's that? David Long in there on that stop. Yep, number 8, David Long.
Renaissance Christian will be driving back to Pittsburgh this evening. They will have a...
Driving? I thought they flew in.
No, they took a bus.
Oh. Man, this is the 21st century. Don't they fly these days?
I'm sure the bus was cheaper.
Bus?
5-hour trip, you have to wait 3 hours in the TSA line, probably a 3-hour flight. Deep pass or punt is going to take a hop. Rests at the 44-yard line. Winton Woods will take over. 1st and 10 on the 44-yard line in their own territory with 2:08 left. Play will have to continue. They can't just take the victory formation just yet.
Man, I'm surprised. I figured they would have been able to fly in on a Steelers charter flight or something coming in here. Like I said,
now, everyone can't travel in style like you, Jacob.
Yeah, I'm just Jacob the truck driver, let me tell you. But even though I'm not on a plane, I can still fly, let me tell you.
Winton Woods, 1st and 10 from their own 44.
There's the give.
Quick give to Jalen Lumpkin, or David Killing, excuse me.
Tackle.
1st down and more up to the 38-yard line.
Killing picks up a 1st down for the Warriors. Again, they get this guy in the game, and it means something. He's usually going to put some kind of impact in this game. Warriors in the future, with all these guys getting this playing time, the sophomores, sky's the limit.
96 seconds remaining in this contest. Shamar Hooks in the pistol. Jalen Lumpkin alongside in the fullback. Give is to Keeling. Keeling through the middle, picks up about 3 yards.
Nice cut by Keeling to see he wasn't going to beat that defender to the edge. He just stepped it up inside for the 3 yards he could get. Holds on to the ball, and it'll make it 2nd down and 8. 1:05 left to go in the affair.
2nd and 8 with under a minute to go. In tonight's matchup.
Warriors, multiple guys worthy of game ball consideration. Certainly their whole offensive line stepped up as a unit, especially losing the services of their key player up there, Darius Thomas.
Up the middle.
Christian Lumpkin and Jalen Lumpkin. Solid performances. I don't know.
20 seconds left, and I think that will do it. Winton Woods Warriors defeating the Rising Tide of Renaissance Christian Academy 44-20 with 8 seconds left. They will let that expire. A hard-fought win for the Warriors, but a win nonetheless, as they'll shake hands and form up on the stand on their benches just in front of the Warrior Nation to sing the fight song to them.
And it's all right to have a hard-fought win, JP. This is the tune-up you need. You don't want no easy matches from here on in. These guys, I've got to tip my hat to the Rising Tide again to make that ride from Pennsylvania, come in here and not end up looking like the Washington Generals and actually put a deep scare in the Warrior Nation at the end of the first half. So hopefully these guys have a good ride on their side back to the Keystone State.
Renaissance Christian will have a rematch next week against the club team, the Cleveland Knights, which they beat last week 20-16. Both of those nights against the games against the Cleveland Knights club team will not be counted in the Harbin. I believe they will have 3 open dates for the Harbin's consideration. As we wait to hear the fight song sung by the high school football team, we will pause for that and we'll come back for some final thoughts after they sing as they form up.
And before the final thoughts we come back to, once again, we want to encourage any viewers, listeners out there who see it in their heart, believe that our children are our future and devote and donate your time to our children. Don't just talk about it and sing about it, be about it. 825-2429, Waycross Community Media.
Here comes the fight song. One of the great traditions that started a few years ago here. They address Warrior Nation. Final score again, 44-20. And Jacob, Renaissance Christian showed up to play, and they did.
That's right. Again, you don't want to take your opponent lightly. You want to find out as much as you can about them. They knew very little about these guys coming in. But turns out you don't drive 300 miles to hand your head to someone, just as I figured.
Winton Woods Warriors run the gauntlet for the final 4 weeks. Next week, homecoming against Loveland. Home game against the Purple Nation of Elder. Visiting Anderson for a Thursday night game. And senior night, November 1st against Glen Estee. Plenty left for them to come. Challenge season, and they hopefully will have 15 weeks to play. Don't forget, if you'd like to get involved with the activities of Waycross, we would love your help. Give us a call at 513-825-2429. Check us out online at www.waycross.tv, Facebook, Waycross Info, Twitter, @Waycross. Final score once again, Winton Woods Warriors 44, Renaissance Christian Academy Rising Tide 20. For Jacob Williams, everyone else on the crew, I'm Dylan Palmer. Good night, everyone.
Copies of this program are available for $20 each. Send program title, along with your address and check or money order to Waycross Community Media. Attention Dub Coordinator, 2086 Waycross Road, Forest Park, Ohio, 45240. Or buy securely on the web at www.waycross.tv.